Did you know that according to IGN.com, the number one selling console of all time is the PlayStation 2, released in the year 2000 with approximately 159 million units sold? Hello, my name is Joe Pineda, and today I will be telling you about a passion of mine, and that'll be the history of gaming consoles and the evolution of them. Sony software sits at about 1.5 billion units sold to this day, meaning that their console software, such as the PlayStation franchise, has pushed 1.5 billion units sold till this day. And since the Magnavox Odyssey era or the Atari era in the 70s to present, the gaming industry has branched into many companies such as Nintendo, Sega, Sony, Microsoft, and other PC companies pushing out their products. Today I will tell you about the foundings of video games as well as the evolution, and finally I'll tell you about the future possibilities and products coming out. The father of video games, Ralph Baer, was a German-American inventor that created the Magnavox Odyssey. It sold for about $99 at the time for 101 million units. And that's big at the time because not many products to this day are selling at 100 million units, except for the exception of the PlayStation products that do a little bit better than the Microsoft products, such as Xbox. The video game concepts that were made at the beginning still stand to this day. It's a challenge and reward system, and meaning that the challenge pulls the player to the game, while the reward makes the players keep on playing. Nowadays, there's a different concept, such as the single player change to multiplayer base. And this basically made it different because it's more about creating memories now, which is a great thing to do. It's just like playing outside with your friends, how it used to be back in the day. But now you could do that in a game, and you create memories, make friends, and create friendships that can last for many years. Now to the evolution. I'm going to start with the PlayStation consoles because it's done by far the best. And to name a couple of consoles, it's the PlayStation 1, or just the PlayStation 2, PSP, PS Vita, PS3, and PS4. Now, in this console war, it consists of PlayStation and Xbox mainly. Nintendo hasn't been able to compete at all with their products due to the specs, meaning the hardware that runs on these consoles are way stronger than the Nintendo. The only thing from Nintendo that was able to keep up was the Wii. But in the PlayStation consoles, of course, the PlayStation 2 was the strongest, as I stated at the beginning of my speech, that in 2000 they sold 159 million units, and that really is what set a bar for the PlayStation or Sony products. In PS3, the PS3 was by far the tipping point of the console to not be in their favor, and that's because they ranged their product from $500 to $600. So that really hurt their product, as because Xbox couldn't compete with their first Xbox in 2001 against the PlayStation and the PS2 at the time. But the Xbox 360 was able to take over the gaming console war because they ranged it at $300, and of course everybody's gonna want a console that was $200 cheaper than the other at the time. So that's how Xbox took over the console war. They were able to sign with a bunch of video game companies, pulling more players over, winning franchises like Xbox, Halo, and other games. Over time, though, when they came to the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 in 2013, this is where the rivalry really started. The PlayStation 4 was ultimately able to win, selling 106 million units to this day, and only 41 million units for Xbox One. And the reason is because PlayStation undersold it at $400, while Xbox One kept it at $500 to $600, just as PlayStation had messed up in PS3. So that's the console war. With Nintendo, they've never really been able to hold on, as they are an older kind of dominant console. They used to dominate with Sega Genesis console, Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, Wii, SNES, NES, Game Boy, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo 3DS, Those were just to name a few. They had other variations of their consoles, but those were the main consoles. The only console that was able to compete really with the selling was the Wii at 101.6 million units, selling for $250 at retail price in the year 2006. So they haven't been able to keep up anymore, especially with the Nintendo Switch only selling 52 million units. Now with the future, the things that are coming big with it is the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Those are the new consoles, the future generations coming out. And the problem with them coming out right now is the pricing, as I showed you right now with the console wars. They're in constant battle with the pricing to try to undersell the other to get more units. So future possibilities also can include improvement on VR to being fully immersed into the game. So we could see that in a couple of years, as well as bodysuits that can make you feel the realism of the game while being into the game. So a good description of this is just like in the new Jumanji movie that came out this past year, of them going actually into the game and experiencing it as if it's in real life. In conclusion, since Ralph Baer, the father of video games, made all of this possible, the games have evolved so far to offer huge possibilities of the future, as well as learning from the past with outselling one another to not create a monopoly, because they could join one another in forming an awesome console, but then where would be the fun in that? They would never feel a drive to beat one another. So I am grateful for many consoles to exist to battle between one another, and the gaming consoles have so much to grow from here.